Every time I feel like we've made progress, it feels like the weight of their disapproval is holding us back. How can love thrive when the shadows of external judgments loom over us constantly? I used to believe that love could conquer anything, but now it feels like the very foundation of our relationship is being shaken by forces beyond our control, and I'm not sure how much longer we can withstand it. Sometimes it feels like we're fighting two battles, one against the world and the other against the subtle sabotage from those who should be supporting us. It's exhausting and heartbreaking. I've always valued family, but now it feels like the ones who should have my back are the ones causing the most damage to our love. How do you protect your relationship when the source of pain is so close? Every time they criticize or undermine me, a part of me questions my place in this family. How am I supposed to feel secure in a relationship that's constantly being attacked from the inside? The hardest part isn't the insults or the interference. It's the fact that my partner doesn't seem to see how deep the cuts are. It's as if we're both in denial, but I can't ignore the wounds any longer. Love is supposed to be a haven, a place where you feel safe. But lately, it feels like every interaction with their family is a reminder that my love for my partner is being torn apart piece by piece. I never expected to feel this much emotional turmoil in a relationship. It's not just the arguments or the fights, but the constant tension and silent judgments that are wearing me down day after day. When I try to talk about how their family is affecting our relationship, I'm often dismissed as overreacting or being too sensitive. It's as if my feelings don't matter because they're not family. It's heartbreaking to think that the people my partner loves the most might be the ones slowly eroding the bond we've spent so much time building together. I've started to wonder if this relationship is worth all the stress. The constant sabotage from his family makes me feel like I'm fighting a losing battle, like I'll never truly belong. There are days when I feel so isolated, like no one understands the emotional toll of constantly having to navigate his family's subtle cruelty. It makes me question if love is enough to overcome these obstacles. I feel like a stranger in my own relationship sometimes. Every time I try to integrate more deeply into my partner's world, I'm met with disapproval and manipulation from those closest to him. It's hard to tell if my partner is blind to their actions or if they're choosing to ignore the damage being done. But no matter how many times I try to explain, it feels like I'm speaking into the void. How do you fight for a relationship when it feels like you're up against more than just personal differences, when the very people your partner loves are the ones making you feel like an outsider. I used to believe that family was supposed to lift you up, but now it feels like every interaction with them is designed to tear us down, leaving me wondering if I'm the only one who can see it. The weight of their judgment is suffocating. It's as if no matter how good my intentions are, I'm always viewed through the lens of suspicion and criticism. How can a relationship survive in an environment like this? The hardest part is not knowing how to fix it. I love my partner, but it feels like their family's opinions and judgments are slowly creeping in, poisoning what we've built together. It's painful to admit, but I feel like I'm losing my partner to their family. Every subtle manipulation, every passing comment seems to pull them further away from me and into their toxic orbit. I want to believe in us, but when I see how easily their family can manipulate him, I wonder if we'll ever be strong enough to withstand the pressure they put on us. It's strange how the people who should be supporting us seem to be the ones who are causing the most harm. The love we share feels like it's being torn apart by invisible forces that I can't control. I never imagined that love would come with so much emotional turmoil. Every time they speak negatively of me, a part of me feels smaller, like I'm less worthy of my partner's love. It's not even the big things that hurt the most, but the little subtle ways they constantly undermine me. It's the whispered comments, the passive aggressive remarks that make me question my place in this relationship. I've started to wonder if love alone can protect us from the toxicity of others. Every time we make progress, it feels like someone from their family is pulling us back into the storm. My heart aches every time I feel like I'm fighting alone. My partner seems torn between loyalty to me and loyalty to his family, and I don't know how much longer I can wait for him to choose. Sometimes I feel like I'm walking on eggshells in my own home. The constant fear of saying the wrong thing and triggering another attack from their family is exhausting. I never imagined that the people who should be my biggest supporters would be the ones causing the most destruction in my relationship. How do you protect your love when it feels like the enemy is so close? It's hard to trust that everything will be okay when every time we take a step forward, it feels like we are dragged 2 steps back by the influence of his family. Love is supposed to be the most powerful force in our lives, but lately it feels like their family's disapproval is the only thing that's stronger than our bond. I'm learning that sometimes the hardest battles aren't the ones we choose, but the ones we're forced to fight. And this battle with his family is one I never signed up for. It's a strange feeling knowing that my love for my partner is being tested by forces outside of our control. But as much as I want to fight, I don't know how much longer I can keep going. Every time they criticize me, I feel like a piece of me dies inside. How do you stay strong when it feels like you're constantly being torn apart by the people who should love you the most? It's hard not to feel like an outsider in my own relation day when his family keeps making it clear that I'm not welcome. I want to be a part of their world, but they make it feel impossible. I've come to realize that love is only half of the equation. The other half is the environment in which that love exists. And right now, the environment feels toxic. Every time I feel like I'm starting to build a future with my partner, I'm reminded that his family may never accept me, and that thought breaks my heart every single time. It's exhausting to feel like you're constantly fighting for your place in someone's life, and even more exhausting when the people closest to them are the ones making you feel unwelcome. I don't know how to move forward when every step forward seems to be met with resistance from those who should be cheering for us. It's like I'm fighting against an invisible force. I want to fight for us, but sometimes it feels like I'm fighting a losing battle. Their family's influence is so strong, and I don't know how to get my partner to see it. It's a painful realization when you realize that no matter how much love you pour into a relationship, the people who surround you can make or break it. And right now, his family is breaking it. I've tried to stay silent, to let things slide, but every new insult, every undermining comment chips away at the love I have for my partner. How do you survive in a relationship when it feels like everything is working against you? Sometimes I wish I could just step away from it all, from the judgment, from the constant emotional turmoil, but I love my partner so much, and I don't want to give up on us. It's hard to maintain a sense of peace when his family's negativity is constantly hanging over us like a dark cloud. It feels like no matter how much we try to build together, they're always there, pulling us down. I never expected love to come with so much emotional weight. And yet, here I am, struggling to carry the burden of both loving my partner and dealing with the constant interference of their family. Every time I try to have a peaceful moment with my partner, it feels like their family's ghost is lurking, whispering doubts and fears that make it hard to enjoy what we have. It's like I'm constantly fighting an invisible enemy, his family's disapproval, and no matter how many times I express my concerns, it feels like they're just getting stronger. I've learned that sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes the forces outside of us are too strong, and no matter how hard we try to fight, we end up losing ourselves in the process. The hardest part of loving my partner is knowing that his family will never accept me, no matter how hard I try. Every gesture of kindness is met with skepticism, every attempt at connection dismissed. It's frustrating to see my partner's loyalty to his family slowly turning into a betrayal of our relationship. How do you make someone see that they're hurting you by choosing them over and over again? I feel like I'm losing my place in my own relationship. Every time his family pulls us apart, I wonder how much longer I can keep fighting for something that feels like it's slipping through my fingers. I keep telling myself that I have to be patient, that things will get better. But as time goes on, I'm starting to wonder if I'm just fooling myself into thinking that love can overcome everything. I feel like I'm walking a tightrope, balancing my love for my partner and the pressure of constantly trying to avoid the wrath of his family. It's a delicate dance, and I'm afraid of falling.